I was bored out of my mind. So I messaged my online girlfriend. Baby, tonight, I want to see you in a black camisole. Will you send me a picture? Then, the next second, that exact message appeared on the huge screen in the meeting room. It was the message I had just sent. Even worse, the contact name was husband. My current online girlfriend and I met on Qianshu. Neither of us had ever sent a face photo, but we clicked so well. We quickly became an online couple, and I always had a few little requests. I often worked up the nerve to ask her for some more revealing pictures. When she first sent me a half-body photo, I was completely stunned. What kind of heavenly body was that? Especially those long, slender legs. Those legs could keep me entertained for years. Holy crap. Did you see it? That message was actually from the CEO's husband? Something about a black camisole too. Hey, wake up. Did you see that message just now? This is the gossip of the year. I was still reeling in shock. My colleague thought I was dozing off and even told me to look up at the screen. When I looked up, I happened to meet the CEO's gaze. Faced with her icy eyes, I forced a smile and lowered my head again. Under the CEO's scrutiny, the commotion died. I still kept my head down, my heart pounding wildly. Before long, my phone received a message. Okay, I'll wear it for you tonight when I get home. I'm in a meeting. Talk later. Moi. This cold, serious CEO actually knew how to act cute. I never imagined she was so wild and private. The meeting ended in a rush. I drifted back to my desk. Baby, say something. Why are you ignoring me? I really was in a meeting. Are you mad because I did not reply right away? Can I make it up to you? My phone was full of unread messages, all from my online girlfriend. She thought I was angry because I had not replied, but she had no idea. I was too scared to reply. Soon, a photo came through. Wasn't this the skirt the CEO wore to this morning's meeting? Even the style of the high heels was identical. Just then, the director came to my desk. Chen Ze. What are you spacing out for? The CEO wants you in her office. Great. I had walked straight into the line of fire. I clenched my phone tightly and stood awkwardly before the CEO. Is there something you need, ma'am? At that moment, any fantasies I had about online dating were completely gone. If she learned I was only her employee, she would definitely break up with me. Ding ding. The CEO was doing something on her computer, while my phone kept chimming. Soon, the CEO looked up displeased and shot me a glance. Sorry, I'm disturbing your work. I'll turn it off right away. This tense situation lasted nearly 20 minutes. Only then did the CEO, looking disappointed, rise from behind her desk. She stared at me coldly. This morning, you looked listless in the meeting. You were not listening at all. And last month's project had a major mistake. You know this company does not keep dead weight, right? Hearing the CEO say that, I trembled all over. Was she about to fire me? I'm terribly sorry. There have been some problems at home lately, so I haven't been focused on work. Rest assured, it will never happen again. But the truth was, last night, the woman standing before me and I had such a long, heated phone call that I barely slept. If you make another mistake, you'd better get out while you still can. With that, the CEO waved me out. I returned to my desk, shaken but unharmed. When I saw the CEO had sent me dozens of unread messages, I rubbed my throbbing temples. Baby, please say something. I'm so upset today. That useless employee messed up last month's project and cost the company a fortune again. Boo-hoo. Looking at the CEO's last message on my phone, I was utterly speechless. Wasn't she talking about me? What did she mean? Useless employee. There. My boss just chewed me out, so I did not dare check my phone. You should be gentler with your staff. Maybe give him a raise to make him more dependent on the company. With a mischievous grin, I sent the message. I had even imagined my next month's paycheck gaining another zero. The next second, she replied, which company does your boss work for? I'll take him down for you. How dare he yell at you? I sighed. So she had only noticed the part about my boss scolding me. She had completely missed the part about a raise. Whatever. I would let things play out. After work, I stayed at the office alone. I planned to salvage the project I had botched last month, at least in front of the CEO. In real life, I could not look too incompetent. Otherwise, how could I win her over? If I could excel at work and make the CEO fall for me in real life, thinking of the CEO's seductive figure, I could not stop myself from chuckling foolishly. Why are you standing here grinning like an idiot instead of going home? A cool voice came from behind me. Every hair on my body stood on end. Boss, you're still here. I just wanted to work a little harder. After all, last month's project had problems, so I wanted to make up for it. The CEO said nothing after hearing that. She turned and left. Watching the proud CEO, I smiled to myself mischievously. Baby, are you off work? I messaged the CEO. Her reply came quickly. I was just about to leave the office and get something to eat. Have I been good? Seeing the CEO talk to me in that tone, it was hard to believe she was the same person as that stone-faced, commanding beauty at work. You've been very good. Here's a kiss. I quickly took a selfie of my lips, carefully making sure my work uniform was not in the shot. You tease. We've known each other for so long now. I want to meet you. The CEO suddenly messaged me. It caught me off guard. Could it be that all our wild online fun was not enough for her? Did she want to take this offline? It's not time for us to meet yet. We still do not know each other that well. You're so bad. We do not know each other well enough. You've already seen all my body measurements. As for meeting in person, she did not press the issue. And so, I worked on a client proposal at the office, while flirting with the CEO. It had a thrill all its own. I never expected her to rush frantically back. She did not even speak to me, just stormed straight into her office. Baby, I'm sorry. I left the camisole you like at the office, and I could not find it in black. They only had purple. Do you like it? A photo followed. When I zoomed in, my nose nearly started bleeding. That was no camisole. It was practically nothing but a few strips of fabric, other than a few crucial spots being covered. The rest of her. No. I could not think about this anymore. I shook my head, forcing myself to calm down. I'm in my office now. An employee is working late outside. I cannot call you tonight. So annoying. Why does he have to work late today? The second I saw that message, I bristled. They were both me. So, why was she treating us so differently? Then I got an idea. Grinning wickedly, I sent her a message. Do you remember saying the day before yesterday that you'd do as I said? When the CEO saw the message in her office, her cheeks flushed red. Here is my first command. Put on that camisole, then cover it with your coat, and take your employee out for dinner. After sending that message, I set down my phone and quickly got back to work. But I could not contain my excitement. Did this count as kinky play? Isn't this a little inappropriate? I don't know that employee well. What if he sees me like this? Weren't you the one who said you wanted something exciting? Or we can just forget it. When I first found out, I was shocked too. I never expected my online girlfriend to have a bit of a masochistic side. Finding out she was the CEO excited me even more. Thinking of all the opportunities ahead, I could not resist acting on it. Alright, I understand. Don't be mad. After getting her message, I shut down my computer. Soon, the entire office fell silent. I listened closely, and soon, heard sounds coming from the CEO's office. A soft rustling. I fought the urge to rush in. When the sound stopped, I hurriedly got to my feet and began packing up as if I were leaving work. Just then, the CEO walked out of her office. I glanced at her from the corner of my eye. Sure enough, she was wrapped in her coat. Thinking about that thin layer beneath it, I felt a little excited. Oh, boss, you're out. I'm about done with my work, so I'll head home first. Wait, the CEO stopped me. I pretended I knew nothing and looked at her curiously. It's getting late. I haven't eaten yet. Have dinner with me. She practically forced those words out through gritted teeth. She normally barely spoke to her employees. I acted flattered beyond belief and quickly refused. No. You're too kind. I'm only working late. How can I let you spend money on me? I'll just eat something at home. Enough nonsense. If you don't come today, don't bother coming to work tomorrow. With that, she gave me no further chance to refuse and turned away. Ding! My phone received a message. Baby, what should I treat him to? I've never taken anyone out to dinner. Seeing how adorable the CEO was as she walked ahead, I nearly laughed out loud. Ask your employee. Maybe listening to other people's opinions would be good for you. I followed the CEO downstairs and got into her car. Boss, thank you for treating me. Don't worry when the time comes. I'll work hard and strive to. What do you want to eat? The CEO cut off my grand speech and asked coldly. That irritated me. She liked the online version of me, while the real me wasn't even fit to shine her shoes. An idea came to me. I decided to mess with her. Let's have hot pot. In weather like this, work up a sweat, then take a shower. It feels amazing. The CEO hesitated at the mention of hot pot. Seeing her hesitate, I immediately added fuel to the fire. Or we could pick somewhere cheaper. Is hot pot too expensive? But the moment I finished, the CEO turned and shot me a fierce glare. Then she slammed down on the gas, sending the car shooting forward. Neither of us spoke on the way. The CEO's face was expressionless. I must have gotten under her skin. But inwardly, I laughed. Keep acting so high and mighty. Just wait. My little love mission was only just beginning. Soon, following my directions, the CEO arrived at a famous hot pot restaurant nearby. After getting out, we saw the place was packed. The air was thick with the aroma of the broth. The CEO hesitated. She stood motionless at the entrance for ages. I strolled boldly into the restaurant, found a window seat, and sat down. Then I picked up the menu and ordered. 10 minutes later, the CEO finally, cautiously, came in and sat across from me. She looked completely uncomfortable. Boss, it's so hot in here, and you're still wearing your coat. Why not take it off and cool down? As I spoke, I took off my work jacket, revealing the short-sleeved shirt underneath. The CEO said nothing. She only shot me a fierce glare. But when she saw my shirt, she visibly froze. Noticing the look in her eyes, I looked down and instantly panicked. The shirt I was wearing was the same one I'd worn during our video call. Was I about to be exposed? I'm not hot, the CEO replied coldly. Then she looked down at her phone. I let out a breath of relief. Soon, a message came through on my phone. Beatty, one of my employees, is actually wearing the same shirt as you, but my darling looks far better in it. When I read her message, I was utterly speechless. Sure enough, no matter who you are, being love-struck makes you lose all sense. Don't you think he looks a lot like me? I worked up the nerve to send her that. How could he? In my heart, you're the best, baby. No matter who wears it, nobody looks better than you. And so, neither the CEO nor I said a word. We each stared down at our phones. Even the server nearby gave us strange looks. I feel strange right now, a little shy. As I was drinking water, I saw that message and sprayed water everywhere. Then I broke into a violent coughing fit, nearly choking to death. My reaction drew the CEO's attention. I quickly apologized. I thought to myself, this girl's choice of words is getting bolder and bolder. In sending such provocative messages in public, she definitely has a submissive streak. Soon, the ingredients were laid out on the table. I put away my phone and began devouring the food before me. When the CEO saw that her online boyfriend had stopped replying, she put away her phone and started eating too. As time passed, the temperature around us kept rising. Even in short sleeves, I was drenched in sweat. So, you can imagine how hot the CEO must have been, wearing such a heavy coat. I'm going outside for some air. You keep eating. After tossing out those words, she rushed out of the restaurant. Through the glass, I could even see the CEO flapping her coat, letting the cold air reach her skin. For some reason, I felt a huge sense of accomplishment. Feeling hot and bothered. Little lady, want us to help cool you down? Just then, from the food stall next door, 3 drunken men staggered out. Get lost. The CEO had no patience for the 3 of them. She only tossed out those cold words and turned to head back inside. But the 3 men would not let it go. They stepped forward and grabbed her sleeve. Perhaps they pulled too hard, but they tore a rip in the CEO's clothes. Her fair skin was exposed before the 3 men. At the sight, the 3 of them practically started drooling, still pretending to be innocent with us. Dressed so slutty. Aren't you just trying to tempt men? The bald man in front stepped up and seized the CEO's hand, trying to drag her away by force. The CEO slapped him across the face, but the difference in strength was too great, so it did not hurt him much. Instead, it only excited him more. Oof. This little lady has some fire, but I love taming wild mares. The 3 men were about to rush her together and carry the CEO away, but I had already rushed outside. 1 second before they made their move, I pulled the CEO into my arms, holding the CEO close. I said to the 3 men, you guys have had too much to drink. Go home, clean up, and sleep it off. Aren't you afraid of getting your asses kicked? The CEO tried to struggle. I gave her butt a hard smack, and only then did she settle down. Who the hell are you supposed to be? Listen up. Do not ruin our fun, or you'll spend the rest of your life confined to a bed. That pissed me off too. The CEO I brought out tonight was actually manhandled by the likes of you. My woman is not for any of you to lay a hand on. The female CEO shot me a fierce glare. I glared right back, unwilling to back down. I'm saving you, and you're looking at me like that. Still not satisfied, I smacked her but hard again. Listen, punk, what we set our eyes on is ours. Stay out of our business. Otherwise, you'll be leaving here missing something. The three men stopped talking. Fueled by alcohol, they stepped forward to take the CEO by force. I did not waste words either. I shoved the CEO behind me, grabbed the bald man's arm, and twisted it hard. At once, he squealed like a stuck pig. You to take one more step, and I guarantee his arm will break. Do not move. Move again, and my arm will snap. Next time you get drunk, go home and sleep it off. If you're this blind again, I'll make sure you leave missing something. Watching the three men flee in humiliation, I grinned and tipped my chin toward the CEO. See, if I hadn't been here today, you would have been in danger. How about giving me a raise or something when we get back? I was feeling a little carried away, so I stepped up and went up my arm around the CEO's shoulders. The next second, the world spun around me. When I came to, I was already lying on the ground. The CEO was straddling me, holding me in a textbook lock that left me unable to move. Ow, ow, ow. One arm was pinned, while my other hand kept slapping the ground. But the CEO had no intention of letting go. Come on, you know martial arts. You should have told me sooner. Isn't this all just a misunderstanding? You just smacked my butt. Twice. With no choice, I had to give in. That was an emergency. There were three of them, and you've got such a hot temper. I was afraid you'd get hurt, wasn't I? I only wanted you to calm down. In response to my explanation, the CEO would not listen at all. She tightened her grip even further. Boss, please let me go. It hurts, ow. Ow, ow, ow. Being unable to move, yet too afraid to struggle, was torture. This chick really hits hard. You crossed the line. Remember, you're just an employee. I was about to argue, but then I suddenly realized we were pressed together in a very awkward position, and my eyes happened to see somewhere I should not have looked. Boss, you like purple, huh? I really should have kept my mouth shut. Fine, I looked, but I had to say it out loud. Now I'd done it. The CEO froze when she heard that. Then she noticed my lecherous gaze fixed on her. Half an hour later, I was in the hospital. My left arm was in a cast, with a sling around my neck. I looked utterly pathetic. See, what did I tell you? Acting on impulse is dangerous. Now look what happened. Your outstanding employee can no longer work. Then you don't need to come in tomorrow. You're fired. Although that was what the CEO said, I could see a trace of guilt in her eyes. Seeing that, I grinned again and leaned toward her, saying, They say you treat your employees well. I don't believe you'd fire me that easily. Besides, I got you out of trouble. You were sticking your nose where it didn't belong. After saying that, the CEO stood up and walked toward the emergency stairwell. I watched her leave, a smile tugging at my lips. Just as I expected, when I took out my phone, a message from the CEO came through. Honey, I'm sorry. I can't be with you tonight. I have some things to deal with here. A reply from the CEO quickly arrived. Did something happen? As I replied, I glanced at my bandaged left hand and smiled helplessly. No. There are some company project issues that need coordinating. I'll be busy tonight. Don't wait up for me. I'll make it up to you properly next time. I kept grumbling to myself about breaking my arm. She hadn't said a word, and she still had the nerve to call it a company project. Fine. I'll give you a pass this time. Before I knew it, the CEO was standing in front of me. What are you laughing at? Seeing my smug grin, she asked coldly. I wiped away my smile, shook my head, and said it was nothing. Saying it was nothing. Where do you live? I'll take you home. I'll put you on paid leave. Come back once your arm has healed. The CEO turned and walked away, without giving me a chance to speak. With no choice, I followed her, out of the hospital and into her car. Give me your address. I'll take you home. The CEO clearly had no interest in talking to me. Maybe my presence meant she could not chat with her online boyfriend that night. So she took all her frustration out on me. I reached into my pocket with one hand, then looked at the CEO helplessly and said, My keys are gone. I don't know if I lost them while fighting for you, or if they fell out while you were straddling me. I can't get back inside now. When she heard me say, straddling me, the CEO's face instantly turned red. Then she glared at me viciously. The next second, she grabbed my arm in the cast. If you dare mention that again in front of me, I'll turn it into a comminuted fracture. Do you understand? Seeing the vicious look on the CEO's face, I could not help swallowing. I nodded instinctively. The CEO withdrew her hand. After thinking for a moment, I'll take you to a hotel. You can recover there. I'll cover the cost. No. Ow, my arm hurts. Everything will be inconvenient alone in a hotel, and there will be no one to look after me. I helped you, and this is the thanks I get. When I heard the CEO wanted to send me to a hotel, I was the first to object. If I went to a hotel, how could I get closer to her? So I started making a scene. I kindly helped you all night, and you're making me stay alone in a hotel. No, good deed goes unpunished. Fine, come to my place. Tomorrow, I'll find you a locksmith. Once it's fixed, you go straight home. And don't cause me any more trouble. After all my persistent pleading, the CEO finally gave in. She decided to take me home for the night. It wasn't quite what I had hoped for. I'd originally planned to move in with her permanently, but this was not bad either. At least I'd get a glimpse of the CEO's bedroom. I was probably the first man in the whole company to do so. I was already satisfied with that outcome. The CEO drove with a dark expression. Meanwhile, I lounged comfortably in the passenger seat. Soon, the CEO pulled me into a luxurious residential complex. The moment we entered, I stared around in amazement. Even at night, the grounds looked like a royal estate, with lush hills and clear waters. I gaped like a country bumpkin. The scowling CEO came over, grabbed my arm, and dragged me away. In her eyes, I was simply too embarrassing. Hey, Liu, wasn't that person just now the female CEO known as this complex's Ice Queen? I've never seen her bring an outsider home. Nothing surprising about that. She's a woman, after all. At a certain age, everyone needs to find a partner. That kid is just a little too embarrassing. As the CEO dragged me along, I had no idea the security guards at the entrance were gossiping about us. Once we reached her building, the CEO finally let out a sigh of relief. She hadn't run into anyone she knew along the way. If they had seen her bringing a strange man home, who knew what they would have said about her? Only then did the CEO realize she was still holding my arm. It's fine. I don't mind. I won't say you were taking advantage of me, I said with a shameless grin. Clearly, if the CEO had not felt guilty toward me, I would probably have already been slapped to death. As I watched the CEO unlock the door, I was wildly excited. At last, I was about to become the first man to enter her room. As the lights came on, I took in the CEO's entire home and froze. Who knew the decor would be as old-fashioned as my grandfather's taste? Boss, you live alone in such a huge place, yet the decor is this minimalist? That was right. The home of a publicly traded company's CEO contained only a few everyday pieces of furniture, and nothing else. It made the whole place feel unusually empty. Your room is on the first floor, to the left. It's near the bathroom. You'll stay there tonight. Don't wander around. If I find you sneaking upstairs, don't blame me for calling the police. The CEO laid down a few rules. Then she headed straight to the upstairs bathroom. Soon, the sound of running water drifted down. With nothing else to do, I sat on the living room sofa and began looking the place over. The decor was minimalist black and white. There was not even a single plant. For a woman, wouldn't a living room with a few soft pink decorations be normal? At that moment, I felt a little sorry for her. In real life, she was the company's CEO, responsible for running the whole show. But online, she was also a vulnerable young woman, telling me all her troubles every day. Then an idea came to me. I wanted to change her, to set free the lively, cheerful, yet shy girl inside her. Just then, my traitorous stomach started growling. We had planned to have hot pot, but so much happened afterward that I was now starving. I was about to get up and make myself something, but then I suddenly wanted to see how good my online dating partner was at cooking. So I endured my hunger and waited for her to finish her shower. An hour later, just as I was about to faint from hunger, the CEO finally came out. She saw me sprawled on the sofa, looking dead inside. Standing upstairs, the CEO asked, "Why aren't you resting yet?" "I'm hungry. I'm too hungry to sleep." The CEO looked at me helplessly, went downstairs, and took a carton of cold milk from the refrigerator. She tossed it in front of me. "Drink it, then get some sleep. I'll take you home tomorrow." I stared in disbelief at the icy milk in my hand. "Boss, you're fobbing off an outstanding employee with this. At least make me a bowl of noodles." Neither of us had enough to eat tonight. You're not just starving me. You're starving yourself too. The CEO's face darkened as she fought back. The urge to strangle me. She opened the refrigerator and pulled out every ingredient at once. Then she turned on the stove and started boiling water. She really looked like she intended to make me noodles. I closed my eyes, listening to the CEO bustling about, while wondering what our future child should be named. Come to think of it, neither of us had even introduced ourselves yet. And so, as I imagined our child starting elementary school, I suddenly smelled something burning. I hurried to my feet, only to see the CEO take the noodles from the pot and dump them straight into the trash. Then she began scrubbing the pot. She was a CEO, after all. She did not cook often. It was normal to get nervous and mess up the first time. It was understandable. That was how I reassured myself. Then I watched the CEO take and wash greens, break them apart carelessly, and toss them into the pot. Once the water boiled, she grabbed another handful of noodles and threw them right in. The vegetables must have been washed before going into the refrigerator. A little dirt never hurt anyone. I kept reassuring myself. But when I saw the CEO crack an egg and half the shell fall into the pot, only for her to ignore it completely, I shot up from the sofa. This woman was definitely trying to poison me. I could not let her keep cooking. Boss, how about I take over? You don't seem very experienced. After racking my brains, I had finally found the polite phrase, not very experienced. Let me try one more time. Next time, I definitely won't mess up. That was when I understood. She was not merely inexperienced. She could not cook at all. Seeing her like that, the deepest, softest place in my heart was touched. Boss, you rest. I'll handle it. With that, I took the task from the CEO's hands and sent her aside to rest, partly because I felt bad for a girl like her, a pampered girl who had never lifted a finger around the house, trying to cook for me. But mostly, I was truly starving. I expertly scrubbed the pot and refilled it with water. Once it boiled, I dropped the noodles right in. Meanwhile, I began washing the vegetables. The CEO sat behind me, watching me skillfully use the utensils she did not even know how to use. She was stunned. She had never imagined cooking could become so simple in my hands. I did not notice the CEO watching me. Instead, I quickly cracked 2 eggs into the water. After a dozen seconds in boiling water, I lifted them out. I placed the eggs over the cooked noodles, then gently poked one with my chopsticks. The soft yolk flowed out. Finally, I added a few drops of sesame oil. The fragrance instantly filled the room. Hungry, right? Come try it. I usually cook for myself, so I have complete faith in my skills. I carried over the bowls and chopsticks and set the noodles in front of the CEO. Under my touch, the instant noodles in the bowl looked glossy and translucent, especially the runny egg yolk on top, which made this bowl of noodles look far more impressive. A few green vegetables completed the dish. As I spoke, I also set my own portion on the coffee table. I picked up a mouthful, blew on it, and stuffed it into my mouth. I was absolutely famished. Do you cook often? The CEO's voice was no longer cold. It was full of curiosity. Yeah, I live alone. I'd spend too much on daily takeout if I didn't cook. Besides, takeout is not very hygienic. You never know what they put in it. It's safer to make your own food. Seeing me devour my meal, the CEO could not resist either. She picked up a mouthful and put it in her mouth. Her eyes quickly lit up. She had not eaten noodles this delicious in a long time. They even reminded her of her mother's cooking. Boss, when you're done, just go upstairs and rest. Leave everything else to me. I'll clean up before I go to sleep. At that moment, I felt so manly in front of the CEO. My confidence was through the roof. Your arm. She looked at my left arm in its cast, and the CEO could not help worrying. I had not expected the CEO to care about me. I turned and smiled at her, showing her it was fine. I had already caused her so much trouble. I could not just do nothing. After we ate, at my urging, the CEO returned to her room to sleep. I took the bowls and chopsticks from the table to the sink. While I was washing up, a message came through on my phone. Good night, darling. Good night. The next morning, the CEO stepped out of her room and saw a man in an apron, busy in the kitchen. My forehead was already beaded with sweat. I had been working since 6 that morning. At last, this lavish breakfast was nearly ready. What are you doing? The softness she had shown yesterday was gone from her face. In its place, she had returned to her usual icy expression. I'm making you a breakfast from the heart. Since you clearly cannot cook, you probably do not even have time to eat breakfast each morning. I do not have much work to do right now, so I thought I'd make you some. The CEO showed no expression when she heard that. She sat in a chair, watching me work, then abruptly said, "After breakfast, I'll take you home." My body trembled as I fried the eggs, so I still could not stay here. "All right, then I'll trouble you with it." I carried over the fried eggs, turning toward her with a smile. The CEO said nothing. She simply picked up a slice of bread, sandwiched the fried egg inside, and took a bite. Soon, I noticed her gaze change. She looked utterly astonished. "You have nothing important to do at home, right?" The unexpected question left me unsure how to answer. "Nothing especially important. If you need me, I can work from home. Actually, I gave it some thought yesterday. Since you were injured on the job, your meal expenses should naturally be reimbursed. I do not usually have time to cook, so I'll pay, and you cook. Consider it reimbursement for your meals. How does that sound?" Without changing expression, the CEO said as she ate her sandwich. How could I not understand what she meant? That bowl of noodles last night must have won over her stomach. Exactly. If you had not mentioned it, boss, I would have forgotten. Besides, I need someone to help change the medicine on my arm. Why not let me stay at your place, imposing on you for a while, and be your personal chef? We immediately struck a deal. One wanted to stay and never leave, and the other wanted delicious food every day. And so, I stayed at the CEO's home. After breakfast, the CEO went to work, while I cleaned the house one-handed. Then I collapsed onto the couch and messaged the CEO, "Darling, good morning." Morning. The CEO did not reply much, because she was deeply conflicted. It felt almost like she was cheating. She clearly had a boyfriend, yet she had let another man move into her home. To push those thoughts away, she threw herself into work all morning. After signing the final document, she was completely exhausted. She even had to brace herself against the desk, just to rise from her chair. "Darling, work is exhausting. My lower back hurts so much." The CEO messaged me, beginning to complain. What she did not realize was that since I appeared in her home, the two of us online had spent the whole day without exchanging sweet nothings. She might not have noticed that detail, but as the person involved, I certainly did. "Then watch your posture when you sit. Don't sit for too long. Get up and move around whenever you can. Be good. Love you." The CEO sat on the couch, rubbing her lower back. Yet what came to mind was the scene of cooking last night. It was the first time she had ever shown her vulnerable side to someone else. Her perfect image had shattered in that moment. Her so-called brave front, her so-called stubbornness, were powerless before him. "Hello. Is this the specialty store? I'd like to order a lower back support belt, preferably one that warms the lower abdomen." After hanging up, I lounged leisurely on the couch. It felt like using a cheat code in a game, knowing the future before it happened. For the entire day, the CEO did not message her online boyfriend again. Meanwhile, I carried a pen. As I walked around the apartment, jotting things down, my goal was simple: to redecorate the CEO's home. A woman living with this black and white color scheme would surely develop psychological problems eventually. Just like that, the CEO and I each spent the day busy. When I received another call, it was surprisingly a video call from the CEO. "Come downstairs and help me carry some things." When I went downstairs and saw the scene before me, I did not know what to say. On either side of the CEO stood two shopping carts packed to the brim. "I did not know what you needed, so I bought a little of everything. I want grilled fish tonight." The CEO sounded slightly embarrassed as she said it, but I knew it was a good start, because she was starting to need things from me. With only one arm able to bear weight, even the two of us together found all those ingredients difficult to handle. After a tremendous effort, the CEO and I finally carried everything into the apartment. Looking at the living room piled high with supplies, now this felt like a real home. Unlike before, the CEO lay sprawled on the couch without a care for her image, one hand pressed to her forehead. It was clear she was exhausted today. As I put the things she bought into the refrigerator one by one, I said, "Hey, boss, you do not have to push yourself this hard. You need to give yourself time to breathe." The CEO did not answer. I thought she was ignoring me, but when I finished putting everything away and turned around, I found that she had already lain down on the couch and fallen asleep. I walked over carefully and pulled over a blanket from nearby, covering the CEO with it. Then I placed the warming waist support I'd bought today, where she would see it the moment she woke up. Then, humming a tune, I began making tonight's grilled fish. You know, at that moment, I really did feel like a husband cooking dinner for his wife after work. After working away for an hour, I finally placed the grilled fish on a baking tray. The CEO woke up. When she noticed the blanket over her, she sat upright at once. But when she saw me busy in the kitchen, she breathed a sigh of relief. She had never slept so deeply in front of someone else before. Could she really trust him that much? What is this? Soon, she spotted at a glance the warming waist support on the coffee table. I ordered it for you. You had such a hard time carrying those things. So your lower back must hurt. And judging by the date, your period should be coming in the next few days. So I bought you a warming waist support. I also got some brown sugar ready. While you can still eat meat and fish these next few days, I'll make you something delicious. I did not turn around as I spoke, my hands still busy at work. Yet I could already imagine how moved the CEO would be by those words. Just as I expected, the CEO stared at the warming waist support in her hands, and the brown sugar waiting beside it. She sat frozen in place, at a loss. For all these years, she had struggled alone. No one had ever cared for her. Even her online boyfriend had only offered words of comfort. Yet the man before her was so thoughtful. The CEO kept staring at me. Even she did not realize that she was completely captivated. Done. With the final step complete, tonight's grilled fish was ready. I dished up the rice, then brought the grilled fish and rice to the coffee table. The CEO still had not snapped out of it and was still staring at me. Hey, what are you looking at? Dinner's ready. What, is my face that tasty? I waved my chopsticks in front of her. Once she came back to herself, I carried my bowl and chopsticks to the other side and sat down. You're the boss? And I'm just the cook you hired. Naturally, I can't sit with my employer. I know my place. Without caring about the CEO's expression, I started eating my rice. The CEO picked up a piece of fish and put it in her mouth. Her eyes lit up the next second. She was just about to praise it when she turned and saw me resting on my elbow, watching her with a smug smile. You can praise me now. It tastes great, right? Seeing how pleased with myself I look. It's average. Just a little better than street food. At those words, my smile froze. Defeat washed over me in an instant, where I could not see. The CEO saw my expression, and despite herself, the corners of her lips curled up slightly. Just as I began doubting my cooking, I noticed the CEO had finished every grain of rice in her bowl. Her cheeks were slightly flushed, with fine beads of sweat on her forehead. She kept drawing sharp breaths through her mouth. I was secretly thrilled. You little faker. Let's see how long you can keep pretending. Is it a little too spicy? You never said you couldn't handle spicy food. With that, I got up and went to the refrigerator. Who says I can't? It's just a little hot. By then, the CEO's lips were already slightly swollen from the spice. They looked exceptionally tempting. I walked over and set the peanut milk I'd just taken from the refrigerator in front of her. Stop forcing yourself. Drink it. It'll cool the spice. Your period is coming in a few days. Eating so much stomach-irritating food isn't good for you. The CEO looked at the peanut milk before her. Hearing me mention her period made her cheeks burn even redder. How do you know my period is coming? There. It's hanging on the wall. I pointed to the calendar hanging on the CEO's wall. At first, I wondered why. Every month had certain days circled. Then I worked out that they marked the days of her period. This month's date had not been circled yet, but by my count, it was almost time. The CEO said nothing after that. She only lowered her head. She claimed it was not good. Yet she ate half the fish all by herself. After she was full, the CEO lay on the couch. Then, as if ordering a servant, she pointed at the leftovers on the table. Clear it away. I'm very satisfied with tonight's dinner. Keep up the good work. After putting everything back in its place, I made a cup of brown sugar water and placed it before the CEO. Drink it once it cools down. If you start replenishing your blood now, your period won't be as uncomfortable. The CEO lay face down on the couch and only murmured an acknowledgement, then fell silent. Also, this habit of yours is terrible. Your back hurts, yet you're lying face down on the couch. Do you know the pressure on that area? Can't be too great. I did not know where I found the nerve. But as I spoke, I placed my hand on the CEO's waist. I pressed down firmly with my right hand. Her spine gave a crack. She looked at me curiously. The pain had eased. Prolonged pressure can shift your bones out of alignment. Be more careful from now on. You need to take care of yourself too, CEO. If you collapse, who's going to pay me? With that, I turned and began cleaning the kitchen. I knew I could not keep this up. Being too eager would only put her off. I had to keep things casual and measured. Only then could I keep living here. After all, absence makes the heart grow fonder. At least, I understood that much. Baby, are you feeling better? I was so busy today that I had no time to talk to you. I'm much better now, but it still hurts sometimes. You're not here with me, so no one takes care of me when it hurts. I really don't know when I'll get to see you. I've wanted to voice chat lately, but you won't agree. Even on video, you won't show your face. It's like we're in some secret relationship. I really want to see you. Looking at the CEO's messages, I felt utterly overwhelmed. I'd taken such good care of her that even I was touched. Besides, these past few days, I had not dared tease her like I used to. I was living in her house. The moment I started a voice chat, my cover would be blown. Have you eaten? What do you want? I'll order it for you. No need. I've been learning to cook for myself lately. Today, I made grilled fish. Impressive, right? Then a photo of grilled fish appeared on my phone. I was the one who made it. At that moment, I felt like some pathetic, devoted fool. The girl was using something I made to please another man. Even though that man was also me, it still stung no matter how I looked at it. Oh, right? I may have to go away on business for a while. I've been reassigned and have to do field work in the mountains. The signal is bad there, so I might not be able to contact you for 10 days or even half a month. So I wanted to ask for some time off from you. After sending that message, I casually sent some photos from the bottom of my gallery. Pictures of my hometown. The night before, I had already made my plan. Could I use these 2 weeks to make the CEO fall for me, instead of that virtual version of me online? The night before, I gave this plan of mine a name. Eat my fish. Forget that guy. Because I suddenly asked for leave. The CEO and I talked a lot that night. From how we met and got to know each other, to the amusing little things in our lives. I even sent her many photos of my hometown to prove I was going there for work. After talking all night, I ended up with dark circles under my eyes as I made the CEO breakfast. Once the CEO left for work, I hurried to the couch to catch up on sleep. When I opened my eyes again, the CEO stood before me, holding a stack of documents. You're back. Is it time to make dinner? Seeing the CEO return, I instinctively got up to grab my apron, but the CEO stopped me. Starting today, you'll be working from home. Do you remember the project you messed up last month? The client specifically requested that you handle it. So, you're returning to work earlier than planned. This partnership is important. So, you need to finish the proposal by tonight. Tomorrow, I'll take you to meet with the client. It was clear. The CEO took this partnership very seriously. Her tone grew noticeably firmer. What about dinner? To my surprise, the CEO rolled up her sleeves and marched into the kitchen. I'll make dinner tonight. Just focus on perfecting the proposal. As for the CEO's words, I had my doubts, but I did not refuse. This proposal truly was important. As I focused on revising it, a scream shattered my train of thought. I looked up. The CEO was shaking her hand, screaming nonstop. A scallop had clamped onto her finger. In a panic, I grabbed the CEO's hand and told her not to move. Then I used two fingers to forcefully pry the scallop open. With a slight tug, I pulled the CEO's whole hand free. You're a grown woman. How can you be this careless? Still holding her hand, I searched the nearby cabinet and found the first aid kit. I took out gauze and iodine and began disinfecting her finger. First, I used a cotton ball to wipe dry the bleeding spot on her finger. I even blew on it as though soothing a child. Then I applied iodine to disinfect it and wrapped it in gauze. When I was finished, I saw the CEO's face was red, like a boiled shrimp. Only then did I realize I was still holding her hand. Sorry, I did not mean to. Let me make dinner after all. After dinner, the CEO took on the chores, while I sat before the coffee table and kept revising the proposal. As far as I was concerned, this client simply had no brains. Their benchmarks were all the current, most popular, hottest apps, and by their demands, we had to beat them in traffic and surpass the industry leaders. When I first got the project brief, I already knew it was an impossible task. I had no idea who was reckless enough to accept those demands. The client was offering a lot of money, so much that there was no reason to refuse. But the penalty for breach was steep too, so high that the entire company could not afford it. There was no choice. The CEO had personally given the order, and the client had specifically requested me, so I could only bite the bullet and add some traffic driving ideas to the original proposal. This is for you. Get some rest once you're done. At some point, the CEO had made me a cup of coffee and set it before me. Then she turned and went upstairs. I watched her long legs disappear from sight. For some reason, at that moment, my heart felt warm. I wrote and rewrote that proposal again and again, not returning to bed until the middle of the night. I had already guessed the outcome. They still would not be satisfied tomorrow and would do everything possible to make us pay the penalty. Early the next morning, I saw the CEO, already dressed in business attire. She even tossed me a brand new uniform, but with my arms still in a cast. There was no way I could get changed by myself. So I got to experience what it felt like to have the female CEO of a publicly traded company help me get dressed. When my shirt came off, revealing my 8-pack abs, I could clearly feel the CEO's eyes sneaking glances at me. After I caught her, she kept her eyes shut almost the entire time as she helped me finish getting dressed. Let's go. I got into the CEO's car, and we headed to the negotiation. The meeting for this partnership was held in a private room at a luxury hotel. When the CEO and I opened the door and walked in, the clients were watching me with smiles on their faces. We had heard your company's CEO was stunningly beautiful. Seeing you today, the rumors do not do you justice. Their eyes shifted to the CEO, while they had nothing but mockery for me. That was when I noticed there was not even a seat for me in the room. Please, have a seat. Today, we must have a proper discussion about our partnership. The man in charge was a sleazy middle-aged man. From the moment we entered, his gaze never moved from the CEO. Since there was no seat for me, I stood beside the CEO like a clown. The clients to employees were even snickering at me. My anger was rising fast, but for the CEO's sake, I did not lash out. I stood there with my head lowered. I had heard your company was well known. Now that I see it, the rumors were right. Do you not even know basic hospitality? Before I could lose my temper, the CEO lifted her cup and took a sip of water. Then she looked at everyone present. Do you know how to speak properly? Do not think that just because you run a company, you can say whatever you want. How are we lacking in hospitality? He is only a sales representative. What right does he have to sit with us? Can those two pets at your side speak for you? At that moment, the CEO's queenly authority erupted. She did not even raise her eyes. My blood was boiling as I listened. I never expected the CEO to be so commanding. She was absolutely incredible. Shut up, you two useless idiots. Her sales representative is still an employee of her company. Are you two not sales representatives yourselves? We did not think this through. Please do not be angry. They had intended to start the meeting by putting me in my place. After all, my last proposal had not satisfied them, but they never expected our CEO to defend an employee so fiercely. A waiter quickly brought over another chair and placed it beside the CEO. And so, the negotiations officially began. Go ahead, show them what you've got, the CEO said, looking at me. She looked like an empress giving an order to her knight. All right, this is not our first time working together. We know each other well, so I will get straight to the point. Your demands are simply impossible to meet. Hearing that, the sleazy man was the first to rise. President Lin, you see, we came here in good faith to cooperate, but your sales representative is incompetent. Would you call that a breach of contract? The sleazy man's grin was nearly splitting his face, because if our company could not deliver the product to their specifications, we would have to pay the bulk of the breach of contract penalty. And it would not be cheap. It could even bring the whole company down. No need to rush. What? Has middle age been treating you badly, that you cannot keep your cool anymore? Seeing that sleazy man gloat made my blood boil, especially the way he looked at the CEO. That really got under my skin. What did you say? I said this partnership can continue, but as the contracted party, I have requirements for you. Remember, they are requirements, not requests. According to the contract, the client must provide the contractor with a complete contract proposal, product requirements, and proof of qualifications. As I spoke, I flipped through the documents in my hand. I made sure they could see that there was no proof of their company's qualifications. It has been a full 2 months already. We have only received the contract you provided and your product requirements, but your company's qualification documents have never reached us. Hearing that, the sleazy man grabbed a tissue from the table He wiped his forehead and said nothing, but the two employees beside him kept shouting, "We already paid your service fee. Now, all you need to do is deliver a product that satisfies us." What qualification documents? Isn't doing the work after taking our money your job? I looked at them like they were complete idiots, then threw the contract in front of them. What we signed was only confirmation of the contract, along with signatures approving the product design. But regarding your company's qualification certification, we never signed it. We can meet your product requirements, but first, I need to confirm again whether your company has the financial strength. In other words, if you want to surpass the market reach of today's top products, then you must provide our company with complete proof of qualifications. That includes your registered capital, project plan, and total projected investment. At that point, I grabbed the cup in front of me and took a huge gulp. Then I met the CEO's gaze, because the cup I had used was the one she had just drunk from. Cough, cough. I coughed twice to hide my embarrassment. Based on the product concept you provided, you must provide proof of at least 1.5 billion yuan in projected investment. If you cannot prove that you have the resources to sustain this project, we can terminate the contract unilaterally. The moment I said that, they were left speechless. They did not even know what to say next. They had never considered this issue. They only wanted to use this impossible task to make a fortune from breach of contract penalties. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you. From the date the contract notice was signed, there is a 3-month deadline. You must present your qualification documents to us. As it stands, you have just 1 month left. Of course, I also hope you can produce those documents. After all, this partnership should benefit both sides. But I must remind everyone, the end of the year is approaching, and the notary office will soon be closed for the holidays. So, you should hurry. If you fail to provide them by the deadline, we would have reason to suspect you are trying to scam us for penalty money. But a company as large as yours surely would not do something so shameless, right? I stood, bent forward like a gentleman, and held out my hand. The CEO graciously played along. If there is nothing else, we will be leaving. I hope we get another chance to work together, but only after you obtain the proper qualifications. Otherwise, if you breach the contract unilaterally, you will have to compensate us. With that, I straightened up and led the CEO out of the private room. That felt good. That was so satisfying. Back in the car, I threw a hard punch into the air. In that moment, the gloom in my heart vanished. Not only had we resolved the company's crisis, we had even turned the tables. So, you worked until the middle of the night yesterday, because you found their loophole? The CEO's tone, once icy cold, had softened considerably. After all, now that this was resolved, the company had weathered a major crisis. Reclining in the passenger seat, I said smugly, "Of course, there was no way we could design that product. They were clearly trying to set us up. They must have an insider in the company, or that contract never would have been signed." I worked until midnight yesterday, reading that contract 5 or 6 times, before I found the loophole, making them prove within 1 month that their company has 1.5 billion yuan in assets is pure fantasy. But we can deal with that after the new year. Then you can hire a legal team to sue them. And remember to fire the employee who signed that contract. They have to be the insider. I kept talking to myself, completely failing to notice the way the CEO was looking at me. Are you telling me how to run my company? Hearing the shift in her tone, I shot upright in alarm. Looking at the CEO, I shook my head repeatedly. I would never dare. It was just a suggestion, a tiny suggestion. What happens next is entirely up to you. After all, you are the boss. Seeing how deliberately I tried to flatter her, the CEO actually smiled. You did well. I will raise your year-end bonus by 60%. Tonight, I want sweet and sour ribs. Seeing the CEO's attitude, I danced with excitement. Like a commander, I swept my arm forward. No problem. Come on, let's go home. The CEO turned to look at me. I simply smiled at her. It seemed that for a long time, no one had said the words, "Let's go home," to her. Ding! I took out my phone and looked. It was a video call from my mom. "Son, the new year is almost here. When do you start your holiday? That crazy boss of yours is not making you work overtime again, is she?" The moment I answered, my dear mother's kindly face appeared on my screen. But her words hurt worse than a knife to the heart, because the crazy boss I was talking about sat right beside me. No, Mom, my boss is wise and capable, and she leads us brilliantly. When did I ever call her crazy? She takes excellent care of me. You must have heard wrong. At that moment, I used every compliment for her that I could think of, desperately denying it. My mother looked utterly confused. Did you not tell me yourself last time that your boss docked your pay over a small mistake you made last month? You even said she was a total demon of a woman. You even asked around about irregular periods. That is what you said, wasn't it? Mom, please stop talking. If you keep going, I probably will not be coming home for the new year. Son, is there someone beside you? Is that why you cannot speak freely? All right, then I will stop. That only made me want to cry more. Mom, if only you had been this perceptive a few minutes earlier. What is the point of stopping now? She has already heard everything. Oh, right, son. Come home early for the new year this year. The house is full of cats now. Did you not say cats were your favorite? Your dad has made quite a bit of money breeding cats. If things are not going well at work, come home and work with your dad. You will not have to put up with your boss anymore. Sure enough, everything comes full circle. She had just said she would stop complaining because someone was beside me. Yet 2 sentences later, she was talking about my boss again. Then Mom turned the camera, and our family courtyard soon appeared on screen. There were at least 100 ragdoll cats in the yard, all meowing at the camera, looking at the cats filling the yard. My heart ached a little. I had thought getting a good job would let me take care of my parents. Instead, I had ended up needing the 2 of them to start their own business and pave the way for their useless son. Mom, do not work yourselves too hard. At your age, you should enjoy life and get some rest. Oh, right? Son, I almost forgot to tell you. Your dad was elected village chief. That makes you a rich kid now. Hearing that, I turned to look at the CEO and found her trying not to laugh. The first thing your dad did after taking office was restore the old city god temple in the village. The villagers really respect him. Before long, he plans to have them raise cats together and make their fortunes. With that, Mom sent a photo of the village's city god temple. By the time I tried to stop her, it was too late. The restored city god temple appeared right before the CEO and me. At first, the CEO did not pay the photo any mind, but she quickly realized something. She took out her phone and opened her chat history, then enlarged another photo and compared them. Mom, if there is nothing else, I will hang up. I will come see you when my holiday begins. With that, I ended the video call. I sat in the passenger seat, pretending nothing was wrong, while secretly watching the CEO from the corner of my eye. Is this place your hometown's city god temple? To my surprise, the CEO suddenly held out her phone, showing me the enlarged temple in the photo. Probably not. Temples like that are in practically every village. It cannot be that much of a coincidence. It is from my village. I understand. Let us go home. Make the sweet and sour ribs. The CEO did not dwell on it. After dinner, I tittied up in the living room, while the CEO returned to her room. Are you there? Today, I saw a building from one of your photos. It looked very similar. I do not know whether you are there. It has been 3 days since you last replied to me. Are you doing well over there? I want to find you, even if it is only to see you once. The phone in my pocket kept vibrating. When I took it out, I saw the CEO's messages. For a moment, I did not know what to say. At that moment, I was deeply disappointed in myself. I could not even tell the girl I liked how I felt to her face. I wanted to be brave just once. But what would happen after that? Maybe we would break up. Maybe we would never see each other again. Maybe our paths would never cross again. And so, to people burdened with their own thoughts, fell peacefully asleep in separate rooms, until a knock on my door woke me in the middle of the night. When I opened it, there stood the CEO in her pajamas. Her eyes were red-rimmed, and it broke my heart to see her like that. I did not even have time to admire her perfect figure. Can we go to your hometown tomorrow? The unexpected question left me unsure how to respond. Before I could react, the CEO pulled a laptop out from behind her. I had someone look into it. There are 246 villages with city god temples. I gathered them all and compared them one by one, and the only one identical to the photo is the city god temple in your village. Take me there. Hearing her say that, it felt like my heart was being wrenched tight. I never imagined one photo I had taken casually would make her go to such lengths. Boss, why are you so fixated on the city god temple in my village? There are plenty of temples in the city that answer prayers too. Whether you are praying for wealth, love, or children, I want to see someone. Before I could finish, the CEO cut me off, her expression forlorn. Does he owe you money? I asked jokingly. The CEO nodded. The next second, her eyes reddened, with tears welling in them. What he owes me is not just money. I want to find him. Will you take me to your home? At that moment, I truly could not think of any reason to refuse the high and mighty CEO when she was asking me so pleadingly. Once I agreed, she finally went back to her room, satisfied. The CEO was certainly a woman of action. Early the next morning, as soon as I got up, I found 2 large suitcases in the living room. The CEO was already dressed and seated on the sofa. You have half an hour to wash up and get dressed. I approved your leave. We are leaving today. The CEO gave me no chance to protest. Watching her check the time, I knew the clock had already started. In a panic, I rushed into the bathroom to wash up and shower. It took less than 15 minutes. Once I was dressed, I stood at the door and smiled at the CEO. Take the suitcases downstairs. It is my first time visiting your home, and I did not know what to bring for your parents, so I bought a little of everything. After a tremendous effort, I finally loaded both suitcases into the car. Then I caught the keys. The CEO threw at me. We are going to your home. You drive. Then the CEO got into the passenger seat. What are you waiting for? After several minutes passed without me moving, she rolled down the window and looked at me, standing outside with an awkward expression. Well, I cannot drive. The moment I said that, the CEO took off her sunglasses, staring at me in disbelief. I said defensively, do not look at me like that. I really cannot drive. Every day when I go to work, I ride a shared bike. Besides, after all my time at the company, when have you ever seen me with a car? Then I pointed to my injured left hand. Besides, in my condition, I cannot drive anyway, unless you want us to die together. I lifted my chin and looked at the CEO smugly. The message was obvious. What could she do about it? Seeing my punchable expression, the CEO probably wanted to strangle me herself. Helplessly, she rubbed her forehead. She had genuinely forgotten I was injured. After all, I had been cooking so efficiently these past few days that she had always treated me like a perfectly able-bodied person. Switch seats. With a dark expression, the CEO took the car keys from my hand. Then she started the car and drove toward my home. I checked the navigation. It would take about 4 hours to get home. Along the way, I told the CEO many amusing stories from my childhood in the village, like catching frogs in the river, catching fish with my friends, and the big yellow dog at the village entrance that would bite me whenever it saw me. The CEO listened with fascination, because she had never experienced such a happy life. She had been raised as an heiress since childhood. No playtime, no childhood, only endless learning and business dealings. At that moment, my relationship with the CEO underwent a subtle change. We were no longer like boss and subordinate, but more like two close friends. The 4-hour drive passed quickly in my company. Finally, that afternoon, I returned to the village where I was born and raised. Whose luxury car is that? It is so impressive, isn't it? Look at the bodywork. It even has matte paint. Just last month, my daughter said, only her boss drove a car like this. The moment we entered the village, a crowd gathered around us, pointing at the car. All these years, people had only left the village and never returned to visit. So the instant we appeared, we became the center of attention. Well, isn't that Sister Liu's son? That's right, Chen Ze. I never thought that after all these years, he would make something of himself. With everyone staring, the CEO could hardly keep driving. She stopped the car and rolled down the window. The villagers recognized me at once. All right, we will not keep you. Go see your parents. When they find out you are back, they will be overjoyed. Escorted by the enthusiastic villagers, the CEO drove toward my home. From far away, I could hear cats meowing in my yard. A man stood with his back to us, continually scattering cat food. He did not look like he was feeding cats. He looked more like he was feeding chickens. Dad, I got out of the car and called out, my voice choked with emotion. My father turned around, stunned at first. You brat, you still remember to come back and see me? Honey, come out quickly. Our son is home. Over the years, gray hairs had appeared at my father's temples. Tears welled uncontrollably in my eyes. Hearing the call, my mother came out wearing an apron from inside the house. The moment she saw me, she was overwhelmed with excitement. She rushed over and hugged me tightly, but that jostled my injury. Ow. Mom, easy. Your son is injured. Hearing me cry out in pain, my mother quickly pulled back and looked. When she saw the cast on my left hand, She nearly burst into tears. How did this happen? How did you get hurt so badly? I scratched my head and only said that I had fallen by accident. The CEO lowered her head sheepishly and said nothing more. Following my gaze, my mother noticed the beautiful woman I had brought home. What a gorgeous girl. You're Xiaozi's girlfriend, aren't you? Mom, we're friends. The CEO cut me off and explained. Unfortunately, my parents would not hear it. They just kept nodding. They seemed to be saying, "You young people, we understand. Honey, we have a guest. Go make something nice to eat. I'll let you have a little drink tonight." The moment he heard he could drink, my dad was instantly fired up. Why isn't Dad allowed to drink anymore? I asked as I carried our things inside. Your father was diagnosed with liver problems recently. The doctor warned him never to binge drink again. So I've kept him in check these past few days. But since you've come home today, I'll let him have a little. Now I understood. No wonder Dad had been so excited. Like a little boy. Ma'am, I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Lin Aoxue. I'm Chen Ze's friend. I heard he was coming home for the new year to see you both. So I came along. I hope I'm not imposing. Not at all. You have no idea how happy my husband and I are that you're here. In all these years, this boy has never brought a girl home. You're the first, and I hope you're the last. I stood silently to one side, not wanting to say another word. The more I explained this, the worse it would get. Before long, my father returned with enough dishes to fill the table. The four of us gathered around it. My mother kept piling food onto Lin Aoxue's plate, while telling stories about my childhood. Only occasionally did she turn to ask me how I had been lately. It was as if Lin Aoxue were her own daughter. Only then did I learn the CEO's name. After dinner, I wanted to help clear the table, but Mom refused because of my injury. Instead, she told me to take Lin Aoxue for a walk. With no other choice, I took her for a stroll around the village. As we walked, a yellow blur suddenly lunged at me. Big Yellow, cut it out. You used to chase me around and bite me. Now you've switched to licking me, huh? I struggled to my feet and held the yellow dog down. Smiling, I patted its head. When I was little, Big Yellow was the liveliest dog in the entire village. But as I grew up, Big Yellow grew old too. Even his whiskers and eyebrows had begun to turn white. Feeling wistful, I pulled the remaining half of a sausage from my pocket to feed him. But when I looked down, Big Yellow had vanished. By the time I realized it, he had already rushed to Lin Aoxue's feet, wagging his tail eagerly to win her over. Hey, you ungrateful mutt. You're not even this excited to see an old friend. I was going to feed you, but a pretty woman you've never met has already won you over. You little flirt. Though I said that, I wisely stepped aside. I watched Lin Aoxue interact with Big Yellow. Faced with Big Yellow's enthusiasm, Lin Aoxue was frightened at first, but driven by curiosity, she crouched down and could not resist. Stroking Big Yellow's head, Big Yellow's tail wagged even harder. It even kicked up dust as it slapped the ground. He really likes you. Watching the woman and dog get along so well, I could not help but remark. After playing for a while, Lin Aoxue stood and looked at me. Take me to see your village's city god temple. So there was no avoiding this after all. I had no choice. We were already here. So I led Lin Aoxue through winding paths to the city god temple on the hill. Back when the village still had plenty of people, the temple was never without worshippers. But as more and more young people left the village for opportunities in the city god temple gradually fell into neglect. Fortunately, my father became the village chief and had it restored. That was how it regained its former vitality. The CEO circled the city god temple twice. Then she took out her phone and enlarged the earlier photos. Though the temple had been utterly run down then, it looked like a completely different place now. Still, some of its features had not changed. Lin Aoxue compared the photos one by one, and soon, she confirmed this was the place. After looking around for a while, Lin Aoxue turned and suddenly said to me, "Could you take a picture of me?" I nodded, feeling at a loss. I took the phone from her hand, found the right angle, and took her picture. Once Lin Aoxue took back her phone, she quickly sent the picture. "I'm here. This is the place. If you're there, can you come see me?" The evening breeze stirred Lin Aoxue's silky hair. Seeing the loneliness on her face, I wanted desperately to step forward and hold her, and tell her loudly that I was right here. I love you. But in the end, I never took that step. The truth was, the moment we reached the village, I knew my lie would unravel on its own. This village even had fifth-generation network coverage. There was no way someone could fail to receive messages. Lin Aoxue was so smart. She had probably realized her online boyfriend wasn't unable to receive her messages. He simply didn't want to reply. Chen Ze, if a friend of yours is avoiding you, why do you think that is? With disappointment written all over her face, Lin Aoxue put away her phone. Then she turned to look at me and spoke. Unless they don't want to pay you back, maybe they have their reasons. My answer clearly did not satisfy her. She walked straight into the city god temple. Fresh incense lay on the altar. She casually opened a pack, lit some, and placed it in the incense burner. She closed her eyes and made a heartfelt wish. I wish he would appear before me. Even just seeing him would be enough. Lin Aoxue stood there for a long time. Then she opened her eyes and turned around, meeting my gaze. Actually, even our village's city god temple isn't all that miraculous. I looked at her and gave a faint smile. Lin Aoxue sighed. She came over and took hold of my arm. Let's go back. Seeing how dejected she was, I couldn't bring myself to say anything. I could only let her lead me quietly back home. We had just gotten home and hadn't even entered the courtyard when we overheard my parents talking. Do you think that girl is our son's girlfriend? How could she be? She clearly comes from a wealthy, influential family. She's loaded, and I didn't recognize any of the things she brought. Most of them had English labels. Hearing them talk, Lin Aoxue did not go inside right away. Instead, she grabbed me and listened outside the gate. But if those two really are a couple, then the Chen family has truly struck gold. I just wonder whether that girl would insist that their children take her last name. Hearing the old couple's conversation, I wanted to crawl into a hole and disappear. Lin Aoxue, on the other hand, looked perfectly calm. But the way that girl looks at our son, I can feel it. She definitely likes him. At that, I turned toward Lin Aoxue in surprise. I looked at Lin Aoxue, but in her eyes, I saw nothing at all. I coughed twice at the courtyard gate, interrupting their conversation. If they kept talking, who knew what other rumors they'd come up with? When my parents saw me return with Lin Aoxue, my parents quickly got up to greet her. Then they brought out fruit from inside, urging us both to eat. By the way, Uncle, Chen Ze took me to see the village's city god temple. I heard it was renovated recently. Did you arrange that? The village elected me chief. I thought I'd do something worthwhile for everyone. Besides, it wasn't just renovated. It's been nearly 6 months. Lin Aoxue nodded at that and said nothing more. But I knew my secret was completely exposed now, because the photos of the old city god temple were sent to Lin Aoxue 3 days ago. The timeline simply did not add up. Fortunately, she did not press the issue. That night, my parents cleared out rooms for us. Later that night, while I was sleeping soundly, a sudden knock at the door woke me. Rubbing my eyes, I opened the door. Sure enough, Lin Aoxue, dressed in pajamas, was standing outside again. Boss, it was one thing when you knocked on my door at your place, but now we're back at mine. Aren't you worried the villagers will gossip? Lin Aoxue did not care in the slightest and simply walked into my room, found herself a seat, then stared at me without a word. Boss, come on. What do you want? I'm exhausted. Can you let me sleep? What is this woman up to tonight? By tomorrow morning, the whole village would probably be talking about a girl barging into my room at midnight. In this village, even which family's dog had what color puppies would be known by the next day. I sent you a file. Accept it. Still half asleep, I pulled out my phone and unlocked it, ready to accept the file. The next second, a video call came through. I had not realized anything yet. Out of reflex, I tapped accept. When Lin Aoxue's face appeared on my phone screen, I knew it was too late. I had no idea what to say. I did not even dare look up at Lin Aoxue. I could only lower my head and stare at my screen, enduring Lin Aoxue's scrutinizing gaze. Could you at least give me a chance to explain? But she said nothing. She turned and left, leaving me standing there like an idiot. It's over. In that moment, my whole world came crashing down. I did not know how I could face Lin Aoxue now. No one spoke for the rest of the night. The next morning, as I stepped out of my room, I happened to see Lin Aoxue coming out too. Morning, boss. But Lin Aoxue gave me a cold look, then turned and walked away. Awkwardly, I rubbed my nose. It seemed that winning her over anytime soon was impossible. At breakfast, when my mother heard that Lin Aoxue was leaving, she cried out at once. What? You're leaving today? Something urgent has come up at the company. Besides, Chen Ze is an outstanding employee. The company needs him. Though Lin Aoxue said that, she did not look at me once. My mother looked at me, then turned to look at Lin Aoxue. She seemed to understand something. You must not feel comfortable staying here, right? You two are always together, so suddenly being apart must feel strange. In that case, I won't stand in your way. Finish breakfast, pack up and head back. But you must take all the things you brought with you. I appreciate your kindness, but your father and I cannot possibly finish it all. We simply could not refuse the old couple's hospitality. So everything was packed back up, exactly as it had been brought. Can you hear me out? Neither of us spoke the entire way. Finally, I could not hold back any longer. Here you explain what? Explain how you lied to me. I did not know when Lin Aoxue had started suspecting me. But if she truly wanted an explanation, I honestly had nothing to say. And so, during the 4-hour drive, neither of us said another word. When we reached her building, I reached for the luggage. But Lin Aoxue got there first. Let go. Her tone left no room for argument. I could only let go and stand aside. The next second, she lost her balance and fell. I rushed over, trying to help her up. Get lost. Lin Aoxue snapped angrily, then stubbornly got to her feet. She dragged the heavy luggage into the building, one step at a time. Watching her retreating figure disappear, I knew this was a place I would probably never return to. I went home, dejected. Then I took from my pocket the key I had hidden away before. I had hidden it to deceive Lin Aoxue. But looking back on what I had done, I realized I was just a clown, going to great lengths to hide my identity. In the end, I still got nothing. Back home, I looked around the empty room. I sat on the sofa, as if my soul had left my body. After who knew how long, I got up and went to the bathroom to wash my face. Staring at my miserable reflection, I could not stop myself from slapping my own face. Chen Ze, you're not even a man. If you love her, go after her. What's so hard about that? With that thought, I cleaned myself up, then brought gifts to Lin Aoxue's home. Aoxue, I like you. Standing amid the heart-shaped candles already lit, I held a bouquet and shouted up at her apartment. Give me a chance to win your heart. My shout echoed throughout the whole complex, but there was not the slightest response. Aoxue, even if you're sentencing me to death, you should at least let me make one final statement. I know I lied to you, but back then, I had no idea who you really were. I never expected the woman I liked would turn out to be my boss. The moment I finished speaking, I heard a window above being pushed open. I looked up, but it was not Lin Aoxue. It was a man wearing an apron. Buddy, keep going. Speechless, I stared at him. The man was even holding a handful of sunflower seeds. I was afraid you'd find out because of the difference in our status. I was afraid that once you knew, you'd leave me. As soon as I said that, several more windows opened. Residents all over the complex stuck their heads out. And then, what happened next? With so many people suddenly watching, I felt a little embarrassed. But I knew that if I backed down this time, I would never get another chance. I admit that I lied to you. I was cowardly. I was worthless. But when I cooked for you at your home, I realized that I had fallen for you. Watching you smile while you ate, do you know how happy I was in that moment? My words won the approval of the women watching. They began scolding the men in their own homes. I've figured it out now. Even if you're my boss, I still want a chance to prove that I love you. I won't even take a salary from now on, okay? The moment I said that, the residents watching around me burst out laughing. Some even thought my foolishness was adorable. If you don't come down today, I'll keep standing right here. Having said that, I made up my mind, clutching the bouquet. I stood there without moving. More and more curious onlookers gathered around. Word spread from 1 person to 10, then 10 to 100. Those watching from upstairs, and those gathered around me, soon packed the area downstairs wall to wall. Time passed, second by second. Half an hour later, many people lost patience. Come on, buddy. Maybe let it go. It doesn't look like she's coming down. Quite a few people around me urged me. If it won't work, just give up. I looked up and shouted upstairs with all my strength. Do I really have no chance? Everyone around me fell silent. No one appeared at the building entrance. I knew that maybe I truly had no chance. As the last candle burned out, my hope died with it. I lowered my head and prepared to leave. The crowd naturally made a path for me. I could see every expression on their faces. Regret, disappointment, and even smug delight. Then a familiar voice suddenly called out, "What are you doing here?" I looked up and met the gaze of an equally stunned Lin Aoxue. Seeing Lin Aoxue beside her overflowing shopping cart, I knew she had been out shopping. She had not been home at all. That whole heartfelt confession was wasted, and I had no intention of confessing all over again. I tossed aside the flowers and lunged at her. I pulled Lin Aoxue tightly into my arms. "What are you doing? Let me go. Do you hear me? Not so tight. My arm still hurts. Let me hold you for a moment. Just for a moment." I buried my face in Lin Aoxue's shoulder, breathing in the scent of her hair. The people around us began to cheer. They kept shouting, "Get together, get together. Let me go first. Can we talk at home?" Surrounded by so many people, Lin Aoxue could not bear the embarrassment anymore. She could only beg me to let her go first. The moment I heard we could go home, I immediately stood up and nodded wildly. Then I took the shopping cart from her and pushed it toward home. Lin Aoxue hurried after me, because she could not bear any more embarrassment. "Thanks, everyone. When we get married, I'll make sure you all get invitations." Lin Aoxue stepped forward and grabbed my ear. "Haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? Just wait until we get home." My ear hurt terribly, but my heart was sweet in that moment. When Lin Aoxue and I got home, after she sat down on the sofa, I walked over and dropped to my knees. "I know I was wrong," I said pitifully, lowering my head. But soon, I saw Lin Aoxue's, a pair of long legs and sheer black stockings before me. I instantly forgot what I had planned to say next. Lin Aoxue had been waiting for me to continue, but when she saw me staring fixedly at her legs, she drew them back and crossed them on the sofa. "Keep staring, and I'll gouge your eyes out." That startled me. I hurriedly wiped the drool from the corner of my mouth and said, "I won't look. I won't look. It looks like you came today to propose to me. Then will you marry me?" Seizing the opening, I started to stand, but Lin Aoxue's glare sent me right back down. This time, I did not dare fool around anymore. "I know I lied to you. I deceived your feelings. But before I knew who you were, I truly wanted to spend my life with you." I dropped my playful act, looked into Lin Aoxue's eyes, and spoke. Lin Aoxue gave no response. Her meaning was obvious. "Keep talking until you explain yourself. Don't even think about getting up." It was only later, during the meeting, that I learned your identity. I was terrified then. You were the high and mighty chief executive officer, while I was only your employee. I thought we had no future together. As she listened to my explanation, Lin Aoxue's face turned red. Even after he learned who I was, he still went on about some master's assignment and made me wear such embarrassing clothes to accompany him to dinner. The more Lin Aoxue thought about it, the angrier she became. She kicked me straight to the floor. "What was that for?" I was only speaking from the heart. I looked at her in confusion. "Nothing. I just felt like kicking you." "Enough nonsense. Keep explaining yourself." I sat back up, looking aggrieved, and continued listing my sins. "Later, you injured me and brought me home. When I saw you clumsily trying to cook, You just what?" Looking seriously into Lin Aoxue's eyes, I answered, "I wanted to take care of you for the rest of my life." My gaze made Lin Aoxue a little bashful, especially after hearing those last words. Her cheeks flushed even deeper. "Sweet talk." Lin Aoxue rolled her eyes at me. "I understand now. Everyone has the right to pursue their own happiness. I don't expect you to say yes right now. I only hope you'll give me a chance to win your heart. I'll prove to you that I love you." My expression was utterly serious. Even Lin Aoxue blushed under my steady gaze. After hearing me out, Lin Aoxue looked at me and said proudly, "Whether I give you a chance depends on how you behave. Tonight, I want something delicious." Hearing Lin Aoxue say that, I hurriedly got to my feet and said like an old-time waiter, "You got it. Just leave it to me, ma'am." Soon, I sorted through the ingredients Lin Aoxue had bought and put everything in order. I picked out several things she liked, then got busy in the kitchen. This was a great start. She was willing to give me a chance, rather than throwing me out outright. If I did well, I still had a real chance. "Put this on. Don't get your clothes dirty." At some point, Lin Aoxue appeared behind me. Her hands gently slipped around my waist and tied an apron around me. She gave me a quick kiss. Before I could react, her cool lips brushed against my cheek. Then Lin Aoxue hurried away and sat on the sofa, watching me. Could I get one on the side too?" I pointed to my right cheek. "That depends on your performance. If dinner isn't good tonight, you can sleep downstairs." As a man, how could I not understand what Lin Aoxue meant? Her unspoken meaning was clear. Cook well, and tonight you can share my room. I was suddenly fired up. and showed off every bit of my skill. Behind me, Lin Aoxue quietly sat on the sofa and watched me. When she first got home, Lin Aoxue had been furious. She thought I had toyed with her feelings, and she struggled to accept it. But on second thought, the person she liked online was the man right in front of her. Besides, after spending the past few days with him, she found he was not nearly as unbearable as she had imagined. So she had decided to find me the next day and clear the air. If we truly weren't right for each other, then parting early would be best for us both. But she never expected that while she was out buying ingredients, I rushed to the foot of her building. Then, faced with my heartfelt confession, Lin Aoxue let down her guard. No matter which version of him she loved, in the end, they were both him. What are you looking at? Do I have flowers on my face? At dinner, I kept staring at Lin Aoxue until she became a little self-conscious. I nodded with a grin. Yes, the most beautiful flower there is. I can never get enough of looking at my own wife. Ift. Who says I'm your wife? I haven't agreed yet. Seeing how shy Lin Aoxue was, I took my phone from my pocket and pressed play. Hubby, once we're together, you have to cook delicious food for me every day. Your wife has quite the appetite. Okay. Hearing it, Lin Aoxue shyly dropped her chopsticks and snatched my phone away. Stop playing it. I'm dying of embarrassment. Then she noticed on my phone the Notes app on the home screen. She opened it curiously, then soon fell speechless. Today, I met a girl online. We had a wonderful conversation. We have so much in common. She asked me to call her baby. Honestly, I felt a little embarrassed. After all, this was my first love. I worked up the nerve to ask her for some revealing pictures. I never expected her to actually send them. She's got a great figure. I was secretly delighted. She says she likes grilled fish, and grilled fish is my specialty. Could this be fate? Lin Aoxue kept reading through my notes. Before long, her eyes turned red. Today, I found out that the chief executive officer is actually the woman I fell for online. But am I worthy of her? I want to pursue her. I want to be with her. But would she ever want an employee like me? Enough worrying. I'll gather my courage and go after her. She's surprisingly strong. She broke my arm. If we do get together, I can't let her abuse me at home. Lin Aoxue read page after page. The notes clearly recorded everything from when we met online to every little detail afterward. I remember it all perfectly. She found out. She won't speak to me. Do you think this is how we'll end? I won't accept that. I want to be brave for once. I'm going to find her. The notes ended there. Because I was standing before her, smiling. Lin Aoxue wiped away her tears, picked up the phone, and typed a sentence. Then she showed it to me. I'm with her now. Today is our anniversary. I looked at the phone, then at Lin Aoxue. When I saw her nod shyly, I lunged at her in delight and hugged her with all my strength, wishing I could hold her so close she'd melt into me. I won't let you down. I love you. I whispered in Lin Aoxue's ear. MMHMM. I know. Lin Aoxue answered softly. I rested one hand on her shoulder. Our eyes met. Unable to hold back any longer, I cupped her head and kissed her fiercely. Lin Aoxue kissed me back just as passionately. It was as if everything we'd been through had been a trial for our love. And today, we had finally found our happy ending. With the mood like this, I wanted to scoop Lin Aoxue into my arms and carry her toward the bedroom. But she stopped me. What? Didn't you say you'd wear purple lingerie for me? Trying to back out. But no matter what I said, Lin Aoxue used my injury as an excuse to refuse my request. That night, we lay in the same bed. We did nothing, just quietly held each other, sharing what was in our hearts, until we both drifted off to sleep. Early the next morning, Lin Aoxue's scream woke me. I opened my eyes to find her frantically searching the room for her clothes. What's wrong, honey? Lin Aoxue rolled her eyes at me. As she dressed, she said, It's all your fault. You had to keep me talking so late. The weekly meeting is today. I'm going to be late. As I lay in bed, feeling the soft warmth beside me, I watched busy Lin Aoxue and truly felt like a kept man. You're the company's chief executive officer. The company can't function without you. Good luck. I'm going back to sleep. With that, I flopped back down to sleep. By the time I woke, it was nearly noon. I got up and quickly freshened up, then started cooking. Once everything was ready, I packed the food into lunch boxes and took a cab to the company building. Under the receptionist's astonished gaze, I pushed open the chief executive officer's office door. Honey, Did you miss me? I made you lunch with love. I burst in with an exaggerated flourish, then froze the next second, because the office was full of people. Then I remembered that every Monday, after the weekly meeting, the chief executive officer would call all key staff into the office for a detailed meeting. Later, Lin Aoxue took me back to her hometown to meet her parents. Over dinner, my future father-in-law and I drank to our heart's content. We got so carried away, we nearly knelt and swore to become brothers. If Lin Aoxue hadn't stopped us, I would probably be her uncle by now. Before we left, her parents pressed a bank card into my hand. They said it was the savings they'd built up over the years. One was for our wedding, and the other was for our future child. After refusing again and again, I accepted the bank cards. Then Lin Aoxue, then I returned home. That night, I held Lin Aoxue with a mischievous grin. The look on my face made her uneasy. Honey, your parents have already given money to our future child. Shouldn't we hurry up and have a baby? Otherwise, there will be nothing to spend it on. Lin Aoxue called me a pervert, then slipped out from under the covers. That was when I noticed she was wearing that same purple nightgown from before. I couldn't hold back any longer. I'd waited for so long. Today, we could finally consummate our love. With a wild yell, I pounced on her. As expected, Aoxue became pregnant. Before long, we held our wedding. To honor my earlier promise, I invited everyone in our neighborhood. At the wedding, my parents cried their eyes out, muttering again and again that their son had finally landed himself a wonderful bride. When my father-in-law placed the hand of Lin Aoxue, dressed in her wedding gown, into mine, I looked at this woman, beautiful as a goddess. It felt like a dream. I love you. Will you marry me? I dropped to one knee, holding our wedding rings, gazing tenderly at Lin Aoxue. Lin Aoxue took the microphone and said loudly enough for everyone to hear, I do. After the wedding, we honeymooned in many places. During that time, I felt like the happiest husband in the world, as Lin Aoxue's belly grew larger. So, we could care for her more easily. I brought my parents from the village to live in our neighborhood too. Seeing Lin Aoxue's growing belly, the old couple was overjoyed. Lin Aoxue began her maternity leave. As a result, all the pressure at the company fell onto my shoulders. I was swamped every day. After handling company business, I dragged my exhausted body home after work and still cook for Lin Aoxue nutritious meals. I did not repeat a single dish for half a month. After all that, Lin Aoxue gained weight, while stress and exhaustion made me lose over 11 pounds. Soon, the day came for Lin Aoxue to give birth. My whole family and I waited anxiously outside the operating room. Only when the doctor emerged holding a tiny, adorable baby did we finally breathe a sigh of relief. The doctor tried to hand the baby to me, but I asked my in-laws to look after the child and rushed into the hospital room at once. Seeing what I did, both sets of parents nodded in approval. Under our devoted care, little Chen Ling grew up strong and healthy. After becoming a mother, Lin Aoxue stepped back from the front lines of the company and became my personal secretary. It was Monday again. As usual, I was in the conference room, holding a meeting for my employees. It had originally been Lin Aoxue's job, but now it was mine. Like her, I began discussing the company's future direction and current tasks. Suddenly, a message appeared on the projection screen. The sender was saved as my darling wife. Send me 50 yuan. Tonight, I'll help you try for baby number 2.